You're considering making an application where you can use the AI to look at images, pull out information, and then give you a concrete answer. But guess what? It still sucks to this day. I'm going to go over 10 issues that the AI has to process images, and it hasn't got any better in any of the models that came out recently. Here I've outlined all the issues that the AI has. So in the first one is basically when there's text in the image. So if the text is in handwriting text or is a neon sign or it's something that's not standard text, it has a hard time reading. It doesn't matter which model you use. OpenAI, Claude, or any of them, they all suck at this. And this is a huge issue that still hasn't been fixed. The next big issue is when there's an ambiguous or abstract image. So if we give it like a painting like this, and we ask it to describe the main subject in the abstract painting with no distinct shapes, it will really suck really bad and it can't give you a correct answer. So it's an optical illusion or the image has no clear subject, it's not good at that. The next scenario is when there's a very crowded scene where there's a lot of people, has difficulty trying to identify multiple people or multiple objects. So like, for example, I say count the number of people in this busy marketplace. It can't do it. Another example would be like identify and describe objects in this cluttered desk. It can't figure this out either. The next one is occlusion. So basically, if we have a partially covered animal, it has a hard time figuring out what this is because it wasn't trained on partial animals. So this is another issue it has. Another issue is when there's a low resolution or a blurry image. So basically, for example, if we gave it this image and we said analyze the pixelized image from a distance, what color is their t-shirt? So they should be able to say this is green, but it can't really do it. Because again, I think it wasn't trained on this much data on this. The next one is contextual understanding. So basically, if we give a picture like this, say interpret the context of the image showing a person holding a sign in a language you don't recognize, it won't know what these words are and it won't know what language it is. Another example is where the background has an effect on the words here. It won't be able to give you the context. Back to the original where we have the partially covered animal. If there's uncommon objects or scenes, it can't figure out. Like if we say identify a rare animal in an image from a remote jungle, it can't figure this out. Or if we say describe a historical artifact with unusual markings, it can't figure this out either. This one is is pretty surprising, where basically if we give it two identical images until it distinguish the differences between two images, it can't really tell. Or this one, right? Like recognize the difference between two types of similar looking items. Another big problem is when there's multiple perspectives. So basically, when you need to analyze a scene with a mirror reflection that shows different angles, it can't tell between these two, even though this is a mirror image. And the last one is where we have overlapping or transparent objects. So basically describe the content of image with an overlapping glass object. It can't really describe it when it's transparent. Or like here, right? Identify the objects in a photo where a transparent sheet is partially covering them. It can't figure out what's inside of here. So like vision has gotten better, and with Meta releasing like Sapien and Sam, it will slowly get better, but it's still nowhere close to being able to identify vision. Computer vision is one of the hardest problems in the AI field because the computer is used to crunching numbers or generating text, but like images for humans is very easy, but for computers it's very hard because they have to trace the pixels around the objects and then try to use different cheeky techniques to kind of figure it out. So that's an overview of GPT vision, and hopefully it'll get better, but as of right now, it's still not very good.